All right, hey everybody, this is Zach Rosen from The New Gay. I'm here at the Red Palace in DC with a really awesome band from Canada. It's Young Galaxy. This is Steven, Catherine, Andrea. Some things I did not know that I just found out today is that Catherine is expecting and Andrea's a lesbian, so this is a much more exciting interview than I thought it was going to be going in.
And I'm just a big...
Maybe I'm expecting a lesbian.
Oh. I'm just a hairy overweight guy over here.
Yeah, and Steven's a white straight guy.
Yeah.
No
Boring.
one's perfect. Boring. Yeah. First thing I want to know is about your guys' kind of spiritual and religious views. Because going through that album, though, you kind of have a pretty clear spiritual line going through it. I want to hear more about it from you than I would be, for my own interpretation.
Well, I think it's always, it's a very allegorical or metaphorical thing that we're doing. I think it has nothing to do with religion per se, certainly nothing to do with organized religion, but rather, I think just meaning in general, finding belief in things in the world. And, we use the metaphors of religion, but they're not like actual beliefs. Catherine, do you?
I would agree. As far as spirituality, that isn't necessarily a word I would have chosen for it, but it's apt. It's about a faith in things turning out for the better when they seem horribly wrong, and the sort of beautiful mutations that can come out of difficult times, and the faith in that process.
Okay, that's cool, because the more I listen to your song Black Swan Event, which I just found out is not about the movie, and ergo not about Mila Kunis going down on Natalie Portman.
What? No.
So,
Andrew's out of
Yeah.
You said it was going to be Natalie Portman.
You said Natalie Portman was going to be our fan.
The part of the song that kind of sounds scary after the tone shift actually I think is the most hopeful.
Yeah.
Is that kind of along the spiritual lines that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's about the feeling of that transformation or that reinvention. It's the words I used at the time, but about that mutation I'm talking about, like how good it feels to have something beautiful come out of something difficult.
Would that be a pregnancy metaphor by any chance?
It wasn't actually, but that would work.
Okay.
That's the thing about the reason we use metaphors so often. It's because we need them to be very layered in their meaning. Sometimes it's very literal, and sometimes it's meaning all kinds of things that are going on in our lives in a way to refer to those without being too literal and too explicit.
We sometimes get heat for our lyrics, which really bewilders me. First of all, I think that we try to write well enough that people can understand what the fuck we're talking about in the first place. Secondly, I feel like it's true. There are layers, there are allegories at work here. It's not just about taking things literally. So if people are like, oh, you guys are really freaked out, you guys are real new agey kind of people, it's like, it's not. I mean, when we talk about watch as energy rolls out of us on golden horns of light. I mean, do we actually believe that or see that? But no, but when you're like driving home one night after work and a sunset, sort of like you capture this moment because of how the light hits, as you're driving home from work or something, you have this moment, this beautiful moment. It's like, those are the kind of things we're trying to like capture in the process of being in a band in the first place. It's like, it's beautiful moments in a very, very mundane and ordinary world.
Well, it's like there's no point of having trivia nights at bars anymore because everyone's
That's right.
pull out. But
you just pull out their
there's
phones.
no
That's
fun,
right.
and it's all there. Like there's no mystery, there's no excitement to finding the answer. It's like
That's right.
right at your
Yeah.
fingertips.
Yeah.
What happened to mystery, Zach?
Yeah.
What happened to mystery?
Yeah.
On that note, actually, Andrew, usually the queer press picks up in a second if there's a queer member of a band, or you start getting press releases saying "gay band, Young Galaxy," and you seem to have skirted under the radar, which I think is pretty awesome.
She came in the back door. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's appropriate.
You and me both.
You're just kind of wondering how that happened, how that.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been tempting to try to reach out to, say, After Ellen or the kid is this hot gay band.
I would love to. The thing is that I'm coming from a pretty. All the bands that I've been before, I've often been the only queer member, and a lot of times I'm in all guy bands. I've come from a punk rock, hardcore roots, and so there are definitely scenes in Montreal where that's a very queer friendly environment, but the couple of the bands that I was in weren't so much in that scene. So I just kind of came out as like I was like the female drummer, and it didn't really make a difference whether or not it was queer. But then joining Young Galaxy, it was obvious that maybe just the style of music and just it just is open to all kinds of different types of people. And so they're getting interest from people like yourself and other interviewers and other press, and so that's why I guess it's slowly coming out to be that I'm yeah.
Cool. That actually is the next question to you, Catherine. Is you guys keep talking about having music that kind of straddles boundaries and is, as you said, kind of open for everybody. So 2 parts. One, how do you write music that's kind of spiritually inflected without being insipid? Because that would turn off more people, obviously, than it brought in.
Yeah.
And also, there's kind of that duality that you're talking about, the transformative elements. And this sound of your current album is way different than the last one. I mean,
true.
how much of a transformation have you gone in? And then obviously I can't ignore that you're pregnant. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but it seems like things are changing for you a lot.
They are. They're, as I said, it was not part of the pregnancy. Was not part of the writing process. It was we wrote before, but it's certainly like I was trying to. They say to write what you know, and what we knew at the time of the writing demos and things was intense change coming out of really painful, difficult stuff in our lives, and feeling like we were reinventing ourselves for happiness because we were just tired of feeling like crap. And it definitely infused the music because we wanted a more like rooted, like elemental sound to the music. So there was a lot more emphasis on rhythm, on something that would make people move. Because of our interactions with our audience from our live shows in previous album cycles and things, we knew what songs had more chemistry with the audience, and we're after that feeling. We wanted that. I always think of words like like food and blood, and like we wanted like the really elementals. Yeah, all the really elemental ideas in our life and the realities of our music to be there in this album. So I wanted it to have a sorry, I'm going on a little. I wanted it to have a kind of grotesque element. Like there's something monstrous about a transformation, and so an animal, and so I didn't want anything too beautiful. Like it can feel beautiful in its expression. I guess that's what the Watch's energy rolls out of us, bits about. But it's like, it's still like I wanted it to have an ugliness to it or grotesque.
This is a creative endeavor, and most people are super careerist about music nowadays, even indie bands, and so they just try to like find ways of seducing you and taking your money as quickly as possible, and we're not interested in doing that. We want to make music that is truly unique and otherworldly and breaking ground in some way. We don't, as music fans, I think we've always felt like, since that's what it meant to us when we first listened to music and became fans of music, why wouldn't we want to be in a band that can somehow do the same for others? I don't believe this idea that bands can't be special or that they can't create meaning for people. I think if I didn't have the Smiths when I was 13 years old, I don't know what I would have done. They were my best friends. Literally, they were my best friends. And it was just music I was listening to, But it meant everything to me. And I think that is part of this process for us. Is like we're just regular people, but hopefully the music also feels like Wizard of Oz style, like just rolled out in front of you, like look at this world.
And that's definitely a contagious thing. It's like if somebody's writing an album and they really genuinely feel the ways that they they're feeling the same way that they want listeners to feel when they're listening to the song. Like I think it's extremely contagious. There's too much music out there where people it's like it's so easy to just write a fake love song or a fake breakup song or a fake life changing song.
It's not coming from their point of experience.
And you can tell it from you can understand it from you can feel that fake feeling at the very start. And that's when I heard when I first started playing with them and first hearing their new album, it was definitely was very, very genuine. all of it, and I think that's what a lot of the crowd feels as well, and the fans feel so much.
I feel like it has to come
so.
from the guts.